So, you've mastered phonics, tied countless shoelaces, and calmed a classroom full of 7-year-olds mid meltdown. But now you're thinking of swapping sticker charts for science labs and moving from primary to secondary as a TA. Brave move. But is it really that different? And more importantly, will you actually survive? Hello, fabulous TAs. I'm Lauren Reesner, and I was a TA one to one and HLTA for 20 years. I even did 6 weeks of training, but I really didn't like it. And now I create videos that answer all your TA questions. So if you want to learn more about being a TA, grow in confidence, cope with interviews, and all manner of other TA related stuff, start right now by subscribing to my channel. And before we start, there is a free PDF that contains everything in this video, so you don't have to take notes. If you want it, just put free PDF please in the comments section below this video. In this video, I'll break down exactly what changes when you move from a primary TA role to a secondary one, the challenges, the perks, and the things no one warns you about. So before you make the leap, let's find out. Are you ready for the world of teenagers, timetables, and terrifyingly complex algebra? Let's find out. If you've been working as a teaching assistant in a primary school, you've probably got a solid handle on everything from phonics to fractions. But what if you're ready for a change? Maybe you want to work with older students, experience a different school environment, or challenge yourself in a new way. Moving from a primary TA role to a secondary school can feel like a big leap, but it's absolutely doable. And with the right preparation, you can definitely go from phonics to physics. Here are 10 key things you need to know to make the transition smoother. 1. You'll support multiple subjects, not just one class. Unlike in primary school, where you often work with the same teacher and class all day, secondary TAs move between different subjects and teachers. This means getting comfortable with everything from Shakespeare to simultaneous equations. But don't panic, you're not expected to be an expert in every subject. Your role is about supporting students' learning, not knowing all the answers. So if you actually have, some decent knowledge in certain subjects, that's great. But the main expectation in high school, in secondary school, is that you support the students in their independent learning. So you're not there to sort of give the answers maybe as much as you were in primary. It's about being independent learners, finding out where they can get the information, actually bothering to take the information in when the teacher is talking, that kind of thing. 2, teenagers are not as scary as they seem. One of the biggest fears primary TAs have is dealing with older students. Yes, teenagers can be opinionated and moody, but they can also be fun, insightful, and surprisingly appreciative of your support. Once you build trust with them, you'll find that many just need a bit of encouragement and someone to believe in them. So those of you with teenagers of your own, it won't be as scary. But I remember, when I had small children, looking at my friend who had teenage nephews, I thought, oh, they're teenagers. Oh, what do you say to a teenager? But actually, they're really not that different from any other child. They're just a little bit older. 3, behaviour management works differently. Primary school strategies like sticker charts and golden time are obviously off the agenda, but you will have done your fair share of relationship building, setting clear boundaries, and understanding individual triggers. And it's these skills you will focus on as a secondary TA. Many secondary schools also have structured behaviour policies, and as a TA, you'll work closely with teachers to enforce them. Yeah, so it gets a little bit more serious in secondary school. There's greater expectation that students will do as they are being asked more quickly. Often secondary schools will have somewhere else where a student who is not following the rules goes, either to cool off, do a bit of work, and then when they're ready, come back into class. 4, you might support a wider range of needs. Just as with primary students, needs in secondary school can be complex, ranging from dyslexia and autism to mental health challenges. And you'll also be dealing with exam stress. So you'll likely work with students on boosting confidence, improving organisation skills, and managing workload, as well as academic support. So again, it's much more about making them independent, being able to cope with things on their own, knowing what to do when they're not sure. 5, the school day feels different. In primary, there's a strong sense of routine with the same class, structured playtimes, and assemblies. In secondary, the day is divided into multiple lessons with different teachers, and students are more independent. So you might need to adjust to a busier, more fast paced environment where things can change quickly. I think it's just that things are changing more frequently. Some schools, some secondary schools have 50-minute lessons. And so that bell goes and there's another transition, lots of kids in the corridors. So it feels busier. That's not to say that primary school isn't busy, because I know you really are. But I think it's just there's more transitions throughout the day in secondary school. 6, you may still work one-to-one, but in a new way. So many secondary TAs provide one-to-one support, just like in primary, but the focus shifts. So you'll likely find yourself guiding a student through coursework, supporting them in science practicals, or helping them stay on task in lessons. It's about scaffolding their learning without making them feel singled out. Yes. So again, it's about, encouraging those independent skills. So you're not there sitting like this chap is, sitting next to them for the whole lesson, unless there's, a real need for that. It is about, giving them the tools they need to learn for themselves. 7, lunchtime and break duties are a whole new experience. So, gone are the days of supervising the climbing frame. Secondary break times involve be it keeping an eye on students in corridors, canteens, or even study spaces. You might also be supporting extracurricular clubs, homework sessions, or informal chats with students who need extra pastoral support. Never quite sure how to pronounce that word, but their well-being, their mental health, that kind of thing. 8, exams are a big deal. So from year 7 onwards, everything leads up to GCSEs and whatever other kinds of exams students are taking in that particular school. You may find yourself helping with students with revision techniques, sitting with anxious pupils during exams, or providing extra time for those who need access arrangements. And in case you don't know, access arrangements are adjustments made to students who need extra support during exams due to disability, learning difficulty, or medical conditions. They are designed, that is, access adjustments are designed to level the playing field so that all students have a fair chance to demonstrate their knowledge and skills without being disadvantaged. So understanding the pressure students face will help you support them better. 9, you'll develop a new professional identity. So in primary, TAs are often seen as nurturing along with your teaching support role. In secondary, the role is still supportive, but you'll focus more on helping students become more independent learners, setting firm boundaries, and guiding them towards taking responsibility for their education. So it's really more about, helping them become accomplished adults. And obviously, there are a few years in that transitionary period. So it's about, helping them sort of take on board that they will become adults and the things they need to start doing in order to prepare for that. 10. You might discover a subject you love. Because you'll work across different lessons, you might unexpectedly develop a passion for a particular subject. Many secondary TAs go on to specialise, whether that's supporting science practicals, helping with art projects, or training as subject specific teaching assistants. If you love learning, secondary school can be an exciting place to be. And of course, many TAs go on to be teachers. So if you've got a degree in a particular subject, a lot of TAs start off, and my son has recently, back in January of last year, he started off as a maths mentor. And now in September of this year, he has got a teacher training place and is doing very well. He's training to be a maths teacher. Making the move from primary to secondary as a TA might feel like stepping into the unknown, but it's an incredible opportunity to grow in your role, gain new skills, and make a real difference to students at a crucial stage in their education. Yes, the environment is different, and yes, teenagers can be challenging, but they also need support, encouragement, and positive role models just as much as younger children do. And here's a surprising fact: many secondary TAs find their students are actually more appreciative than primary pupils. Why? Because by the time they hit year 9 or 10, they understand just how much effort goes into supporting them, and a simple thanks for helping, miss or sir, can make your whole day. So if you're considering making the move, go for it. You might just love it more than you ever expected. And look, I've given you 2 interview related videos to choose from so you can brush up on the skills you need to get your new role. Good luck.